So Umpal Kaumi to continue from the pavilion end to Mihir Patel. Flipped around the corner towards fine leg for a single. I think Canada needs to find a way to rotate strike in these initial overs, settle into a good batting rhythm.
That has been a chop on for the high performance side, especially falling behind for taking singles. That's where they themselves choked on.
Yes, I think on wickets like these, it's all about classical batsmanship, wherein you find the spots, open spots in the field to rotate strike consistently. You won't get too many bad deliveries, and the ones which you get, you got to put them away, and the ones which you don't, got to find a way to rotate strike.
We have seen how slow it gets in the middle overs with the strike rotation, because the more branching would be towards boundaries, because 50 overs you heavily cannot rely upon boundaries. And Ajay Veer Singh has looked in a great nick today, much more controlled approach.
It looks very compact.
Does not throw his bat at the balls.
Once again, displaying good technique out here, playing with a straightish bat, not trying anything untoward.
You see anything change with Ajay Veer Singh today?
I think he's looking a little more composed to me, looking slightly side on and trying to bring the bat straight.
He's not coming down the track. What we've seen in 2 matches. He's not losing his crease there, waiting, playing the ball late, especially with that swing and the breeze blowing across. Not knowing, Sompal Kami has shown us the sign that he can take the ball into the stumps. So this is good for Ajay Veer Singh to play late. Look at that. Freebies here. They get a free wide plus 4 runs. That'll be relished by the high performance side.
Yeah, rank bad delivery. Down the leg side, probably attempting the in-swinger there, Abdul, as we were talking about it previously. Slightly gone wrong in terms of the line.
Through that, a better line for the left-hander to drive, but not the right-hander. For him just to stay still and not even move his head. He would not have minded looking at that, but just gave it a little swing.
Good comeback. You'll see a lot of players today wearing their beanies and their jumpers. As we spoke about the weather, it's getting cold out here in Canada.
The very first time I heard beanie from the time I've been in Canada, because it is referred as toque. It's good to hear the term beanie again. It's very cold, Venu. We might have not see the temperature or imagine the temperature to drop down this low at this. Nicely fielded inside the circle.
Yeah, not easy for the fielders as well, to be honest. In these conditions, their hands would be cold.
And especially they'll hurt them, and they would want to keep their hands in the pocket. So not pleasurable conditions for the fielders.
And guess what? It's not going to get any warmer during the day as well. It's going to be windy, cloudy. So it's going to be similar conditions, I would say, for both teams, except for the fact that there'll be some dew and some moisture on the track at this stage. It's good bowling out here. Good comeback after that wide down the leg side. As we see the end of the 5th over, 15 for no loss. High performance Canada.
kudos to organizing and develop their skills regarding cricket.
I agree. I think this is a perfect opportunity for players on both sides to get critical match practice and also compete at this level. We have seen the associate nations, really doing well in the past two World Cups. I would say the T20 World Cup, which concluded recently in 2024, and even in 2023, where we saw the likes of Netherlands, Afghanistan, all of these countries doing exceptionally well. So I think these kind of games would only add to their confidence and give them enough exposure to play at this level.
And let me remind you that there's not going to be any cricket after this month, especially when the winter arrives. Let's come back sharply into Patel.
Yes, Canada being a cold country and cricket being a summer sport, you would predominantly see the maximum amount of cricket being played between, say, June till September. And right now, we are kind of officially in the off season. We are still managing to get these games in, which is commendable.
And a big effort goes in from the ground staff to maintain such pitches and ground. That's an excellent ball. Very vibrant for the batter to just close his eyes and let the ball sway to the keeper.
Yeah, beautiful delivery once again here by Karan. Yes, coming back to your point, Abdul, I think, yes, definitely commendable effort by the ground staff to maintain such a beautiful outfield and work on turf wickets at this time of the year when it's really challenging. The weather can get really unforgiving. And I think it's important that we get good wickets to play on, and that's kudos to the ground staff and the organizing committee as well out here. This is good bowling out here by Karan. Bowling a tight line, not giving anything away.
What do you think to keep the momentum and having an upbeat camp to make sure there's no slack again in the game? How would the players be prepared to combat winter, especially being no outdoor exposure, no outdoor games? What do you think the players may be thinking to take upon?
So generally, what we see here in Canada is we have a few indoor leagues going on during off season. Obviously, that's one way to be in the game as we come back after this ball. Nicely bowled once again. Inside edge onto the pads. Coming back to your point, I think another factor that we see, from a perspective of being game ready during off season as well is some of the players go down south towards the US. They play a few leagues out there in a few places where it's still warm enough to play, Texas or the West Coast. Those kind of places where it's still a good time to play cricket. Or some of these other players also play county cricket or even play in Australia in some of the leagues down under because that's the summertime there. So there's multiple ways to keep yourself in shape during the off season. As we see him advancing down the track this time.
A good option for the players and the teams. Having no much cricket being played in the winters, I think that gets challenging, especially having that home advantage. The teams would be thinking that they need to read the conditions properly and assess them, but I think that's one layer, the shade being taken off from your head because you don't know what the pitches are going to be, especially how is it going to be developed after 6 7 months of snow and you not being completely aware of the conditions. So it's going to be new to you as well as the country visiting. So challenge, but a challenge to take on and get better.
See a false start, the batter being distracted by something. Yes, I think in Canada, if you see Abdul, there's always, layered ways to see how the cricket season develops. In the month of May or early June, you'll see the grounds being soft after the cold winter and the snow. Oh, that's beautifully bowled, enticing the batsman to drive and just beating the outside edge at the last moment. So that's a great line by Sompal Kami. Coming back to the point, Abdul, once again, yeah, I think the initial part of the season, May and June, is always softer grounds, harder batting conditions. Playing club cricket out here in Canada, I can also say that there's very less turf wickets available in that period, or good turf wickets available. And then slowly, as the season gets into June, July, August, that's when we see the grounds being hardened with all the sun beating down.
I think for proper turf, if I'm not being wrong, it is very difficult to get hold of turf, especially because the start of June, July, where you won't be able to roll hard. If you're going to press it hard, it's going to go down. The surface will not hold up. So I think the only option available in that period is going to be the AstroTurf. That's when the league starts. So a better option, at least, to play on AstroTurfs than having nothing. So I think those type of leagues are a savior in a way that you're able to utilize the Astro tracks in a way that you improve much more quicker.
As we see another beauty out here by Sompal Kami. He's really testing the batters in this over.
Some cricket is better than nothing, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't agree more. I think the AstroTurf has its own advantages and disadvantages. You get excessive bounce at times, but you also get true bounce, which kind of aids both the batter and the bowler.
Very less assistance for spinners because it skids more than turning, because very little turn if you are giving those revs. If you've made sure your fingers tasted the bruise, then for sure. Trying to find the gap. Good running between the wickets. Soft hands, nicely played by Ajay Veer.
It's been a tight start here, both from Nepal's end and Canada's end. I think we're seeing proper attritional cricket in terms of who blinks first. Haven't seen any rash shot played yet from Canada's end. As we speak, we see one being played down the ground and nicely timed, controlled, and placed in the gap. The first boundary, or should I say the second boundary of the innings.
Technically correct if it is Mihir Patel, because that'll be his first boundary and second of the innings. He's had enough. Mihir Patel, Sadar in the slot, uses his high elbows to get hold of the better of Sompal Kami.
Yeah, the trick was to play it with a straight bat.
Yeah, that's Sompal Kami, and the over for Nepal. 7 done, 20 on board.
Twenty for no loss, 7 overs gone. High Performance Canada off to a decent start. As we see Karan continuing from the northern end.
That was some real drive from Mihir Patel, wasn't it?
Yes, I think he controlled it really well. He didn't reach the pitch of the ball, but he played with a straight bat, made sure that he just had to time the ball and get it over the infield, and placed it perfectly between the bowler and mid-on.
Risky, yet paid him results because the fielder was inside the circle. Anything an inch wider or mistimed could have got them different result, ending Mihir Patel to go back to the pavilion.
That one just took off.
The batter is as surprised as the keeper would be.
Wasn't even a short delivery. It was kind of in the good length or a fullish length area.
Much fuller. That's where Gulshan Kumar Jha was able to generate bounce too. That has been one area that has been unpredictable with the bounce. To the bowler's delight, good for the bowler.
Once again, beating the outside edge from that length. This is exceptional bowling here by Karan.
Does well not to fidget with that delivery. Always, we've seen at times the batters are in two minds, not sure if to guide it down or to let it go to the keeper.
There's nothing much you can do with that delivery, Abdul. If I was the batter, I would be happy leaving them alone at this stage.
The faith shown in Ajay Veer Singh has been great because the way he's been given the backing, it comes with a prize. If the management's seen him or they've shown the faith in Ajay Veer Singh, that means they're expecting something out of him and he's capable to deliver it. Especially being picked up by the GT20 team Vancouver Knights. He's had the opportunity to be with the best. This year we had Usman Khwaja visiting alongside Dwayne Pretorius from South Africa. That not only restricts the players to their own team, but also having the additional chance to rub their shoulders with the other players too, because it's an open pool where you stay together.
Yes, that's a wonderful opportunity for cricket in Canada to grow, the GT20. So another successful season concluded this year. Good exposure for all the younger Canadian players as well as players around the world to come to Canada.
Head and shoulders right, where we see the cricket moving. Leaves that one. Good leave by Ajay Veer. His 32 balls so far. We've seen one good boundary, which was in his favor. 8 overs done, 20 for high performance team. Flipped away to start the over. Looking to retain the strike. There was a yes and a no. And Mihir does well in the end to get back to the crease. Not many balls he's faced. Might be a fissure in his momentum.
Yeah,
At times,
maximum strike being taken by Ajayveer Singh till now.
teams try to break the momentum not by keeping you on strike or making sure that you dot the balls, but also there's an option to keep you away from the strike by stationing you at the non-striker's end. That's one way. If not heading attacking forward, try using the other way around.
As you can see from the way the camera is moving around as well, there's a lot of wind today. Not easy conditions for the players in the middle as well.
Imagine how difficult would it be for Nepal, who it, it gets cold in Nepal too, but I'm sure not this cold because from where they come,
Once again, beautifully bowled out here. And I think, honestly, there's nothing much that a batter could do. I think both these players have done well to survive this initial onslaught by the bowlers.
good display of bowling by Sompal Kami and Karan Casey. They'll have to find a way. They'll have to devise a strategy, at least to get hold of singles, because the batters who are going to come next, this is going to be the last over of power play later this over.
Light leading edge.
Hung in air for some time. Was too
First
far.
real attempt, Abdul, to play across the line on this occasion.
That's where Canada and Nepal have lost most of the wickets in the first game when they tried playing that cross batted shot on a slow track, knowing that the ball's not coming on well on the bat. That's when they got exasperated and tried going across, and you know what the result was, not in the favor of the batters.
Oh, this is brilliant fielding in the covers. Kudos to the Nepal team to be throwing themselves around, and even in these conditions, not easy with the hard ball hitting your cold hands.
You got to make sure in this weather you try to keep your body warm. You try to move as much as possible. Give that movement to your muscles so that when the ball comes to you, you don't have a surprise box being opened up and you feel reluctant to hold on to the ball.
We were just talking about that, Abdul, playing across the line, and that's probably initial signs of frustration from the batters for not being able to get away as we see the end of another over. 22 for the loss of no wickets.
Ahuja, not sure from the squad will he be taking the strike today when batting.
Yeah, I think the whole idea behind these games is to test out most of the players that you have in your overall squad. So we won't get to know till we actually see the player walking out to the middle whether they'll bat today or no. Sometimes they also change them during the fielding as well, wherein they bring in newer bowlers onto the mark.
That's because more of a practice session and gives Nepal an option to explore different type of bowlers and different type of skill set. Because every bowler is going to be very different from the one who's bowling or will be coming up. That is because either the bounce may vary or their variation, how they are going to mix and match what they have, the control of the ball and the line and the length, the channel they use.
And we have seen some exceptional bowling out here from this end, especially by Karan. He has kept things really tight. He's found that channel just about around the off stump and outside, enticing the batter to drive, but the batters have also been equally patient in leaving those deliveries. This time pulled away on the onside. Slightly short. Won't reach the boundary, but they will comfortably come back for the second run.
Was nowhere in control of the shot. Or I'd say that the timing could have been better, or it is the outfield. It just gives us option to reflect upon. I think he was able to get in shape better. He was in position there. I think it's more about timing the ball.
He just probably got it on the slice of the bat than the middle. That's what kept the ball in the air for a while.
This is good to embark for Ajay Veer Singh. Has cut well, has pulled one.
Nicely bowled. This time Fuller.
I would like to see Karan KC if he'll be able to use the new ball an inch wider on the same line, making sure that a proper drive shot is produced by the batter. Might be conducive in the run for Karan KC for wickets. It's just not the players who are making sure that they keep themselves warm, but also the coaches of the team trying to take the rounds of the ground. A little more fuller in the same line. The length could have been better from Karan Casey because we haven't seen a real time drive being invited on from the bowler.
Yes, Karan has been superb so far. Just given away 5 runs in his 5th over. As we see the sun hiding behind the clouds. There is a bit of rain in forecast today. We hope that it's kept out and it's not that bad. That's a beautiful delivery once again. Shaping at the last moment, leaving the bat, but he was up to the mark in terms of defending it. Ajay Veer Singh looking solid. Faced most of the balls. 37 deliveries for his 11. Mihir Patel on the other end, 8 of 22. High Performance Canada, 24 for the loss of no wickets. This is the 10th over. The last ball of the 10th over coming up.
This will end the power play too. And a slow start for the high performance side. There has to be some sign of aggression at least now. Especially with Ajay Veer Singh, who's played maximum number of deliveries.
End of the over. 24 for the loss of no wickets. High Performance Canada after the end of 10 overs. A few drops of rain as we speak. We hope that it's kept out.
It's chilly, started to drizzle, windy, and what else are we to expect? Some runs to make it better?
Absolutely. It's been slightly slow in attritional cricket so far.
Should have got my duvet on here.
As you can see, the wind is picking up a lot and the bales are falling apart.
There's a appeal from the side of point.
Oldest trick
Humorous.
in the book. Appeal for hit wicket. I think he did it a little too early. Probably should have waited for the ball to be bowled.
Mihir always has shown that hunger to improve himself. And last time in the previous game, the second one-day game, saw that how disappointed he was. He's cut that beautifully on the back foot. Solid shot, I would say, apart from on drive. In my book, this is the shot of most difficulty to punch the ball on the back foot. You need to have that hand and eye great coordination. One of the better players of back foot punch for me is Kane Williamson.
Especially in these conditions as well, right? When the ball is moving around, you got to get behind the line of the ball and also time it perfectly. And not just the timing, but even the placement. And on this occasion, I would agree, it was beautifully played. Exactly knew what he was doing.
That looked pretty solid from the young right-hander.
Once again, nicely behind the line of the ball. This is good batting out here. I think, yes, we agree that it's a slow start. But I think given the conditions, Abdul, I just feel that they got to respect the bowling on offer. It's not an easy wicket to bat on and not easy conditions as well. As you can see, a lot of cloud cover picking up, rain around the corner, windy, chilly, a lot of moisture in the track as well. So you could clearly say that it's a bowl first wicket.
I'd say that half and half because the reputation has got hold of that. No need to run because there's fielder will only allow them to take one.
And that was a good controlled pull shot as well. Kept it down, rolled his wrist, did not attempt to hit it in the air. Playing some safe cricket out here, not attempting any wild slogs or not going for anything extravagant at this stage. And especially with rain around the corner, you might want to be there, stay not out if there's a break in play.
Yeah, I mean, three chances, in fact, for Ajay Veer. If he's going back again to dugout without scoring, will be a long walk for him. And he himself, with the potential he carries, will not be pleased because a chance always comes with a cost, and the cost is either you lose your chances or you deliver to the team. But very young. Speaking about Ajay Veer Singh, who's relished this opportunity.
And as we speak, that was a real bad ball there by Sumpal Kami. Shot, asking to be hit, and deposited rightly so through mid wicket.
Sendad was there to be punished, and Ajay Veer had no doubts to play that one by rolling his wrist into deep mid wicket region for a boundary to end. A good over for high performance side with a boundary in the end. 31 for 11. Arif Sheikh to roll his arm for the first time in the innings. Starts with a wide. Great collect by Arjun Saud, the opening wicketkeeper batter for Nepal, who's been in good touch with his batting display and been tidy with the glove work behind the stumps for Nepal. So no doubts about wicket keeping, who's going to be the option. Great collect, and he's got a little hippity-hoppity moves. Nepal's growth in cricket has really been spoken about. When we talk about the developing nations into cricket, it is because how Nepal's placed themselves. Talking about placement, this gets better here. Great shot by Mihir Patel. Just had to deflect it away. Javeer Singh currently batting on 15, partnership of 33. 69 balls. A little away and bad control because Nepal were much in control of the ball and the line and the length. But their wides played that in the gap. Will be able to take one. The field's been opened up after the power play. I'm surprised to see Nepal going with an open field. He's not going to drop, definitely, Arjun Saud.
Not easy for a keeper to stand up to a medium pace bowler, especially in these conditions.
Taking the conversation to you, Venu. Uh, the high performance team was not able to score much runs in the power play. So opening up the field has given them a chance to score singles. So I think what the captain might have thought, would he spend a penny to keep the field closed instead of open, be more attacking, and cancel that single?
I think it's pretty much evident that you need to cut down those singles and rather err on the attacking side than on the defensive side, given the conditions. I don't think you'll get these kind of conditions ever to apply pressure on the opposition. Perfect bowling conditions.
I'm sure the county cricket won't be this cold. It's been always horrified with the grey skies. End of the over. Sagar Dhakal. With the new introduction, we've got a little guest on the ground. Seagull, wrong place to be. Surely wouldn't be targeted by the ball.
Reminds you of those good old days of watching cricket on Channel 9 in Australia, especially in places like the Adelaide Oval, where you'll see those seagulls hovering around the ground.
I think at once it was South African team which injured the pigeon. With their good sense of control from Sagar. Change from Nepal side. Finger spinner right in front of the stumps against Ajay Veer Singh. I think it's high time now that they start finding out the ways, figure out that how they are going to start make runs.
Nicely bowled.
Before the batters and the batting team get desperate for the new batters, it's not going to be easy. Always any batter who's faced the number of deliveries, it puts pressure on the batters who are coming behind him.
As we see a full toss being clipped on the leg side. Probably missed out on that occasion, I'll feel. Northern end. That's beautifully bowled and excellent wicket keeping as well.
The weather might also cocoon the fielders, especially because it's cold and there's always that you not fielding in these cold conditions. Expecting, keeping our fingers crossed and hoping that the weather gets better.
It's not easy conditions for everybody out here, including us in the commentary box. Nicely played this time on the offside. He has protection in the deep.
A deep point for Arif Sheikh.
Yes, I think now they're slowly opening up the field a bit. They realize that RF is not as quick as Karan or even Sompal for that matter. And they're just giving him that extra cushion on the offside.
But it'll take fast hands and the bounce from the wicket for the batter to play in that direction. If Nepal's for sure better than that because they can try to cover that one single. If they have kept a deep point there to cut that boundary off, what they can think about is to have that deep point inside the circle, make it a point and cut single instead. Because the bounce and the pace of Arif Sheikh's not going to take the ball. However, in that direction, giving the opportunity for a catch.
Slightly in and out field at the moment. That's exactly where the ball has gone once again.
Loose ends from Nepal, according to me right now, Venu, because again, reflecting upon where the fielder is at deep point, the concern is if the ball is going to come to you very quick, you can always ask the fielder to take a start from outside the circle. That gives an opportunity to counter.
Yeah, I think the singles have started flowing a bit the last couple of overs. As we see another one played on the offside. And I agree with you. These are the runs that they need to stop. And strike rotation doesn't help the bowler in any way.
because the batters of Canada High Performance weren't serendipitous. They were trying to play only the strokes in the line of ball. They were not trying to make anything or carve out a shot, because there's always risk involved in a slow track, that you have in the back of your mind that what if the ball stays low, it goes on to the stump. So it always keeps you on the back foot for not trying to express yourself completely. That ends another over with 40 runs being scored after 14 overs. Too early for this. It's beautiful delivery from Sagar Dhakal, making sure, as his name suggests, he takes the ball deeper to the batter. Quicker through the air, timed it in the gap. Will be coming back with
Slight
a fumble.
midfield.
Let's take on the boxes, Venu, here. What could have gone better for Nepal and for the high performance team? Throw in.
Yeah, I think after this delivery, yep, appeal for LBW, missing the leg stump probably. Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway would be, the ability to play on these tracks, which, like we discussed before, it's the end of the season, and the weather also hasn't been very forgiving. So to kind of battle it out in these sticky conditions is a big plus from both teams' perspective. We've seen some close games as well in the last two games. And one more appeal for LBW, and the umpire once again denies. Scores of 180 odd being defended in the last two games, that has been heartening to see. I think every cricket fan loves watching those low scoring thrillers. And some good fielding on display as well. I think we remember watching that Saturday game wherein Nepal had three direct hits in one single game to get three runouts, which was exceptional. From Canada's perspective, I believe we spoke about Oliver Cox, we spoke about Ali Nadeem. In the bowling department, we saw the left arm spinners doing really well in tandem. So I think a lot of positives for Canada as well. As we see the end of another over. 43 for the loss of no wickets. High performance Canada. Slightly sedate, but solid start.
Arif Sheikh will continue. Very ordinary display so far, apart from a couple of boundaries. The viewers might say that it's been very harsh with the critic for the batters, is because the talent both the batters possess, they know and we know that they are much more capable than what they're doing. Getting cold, and there's no sign that this unforgiving weather is going to turn out any better. We've got in the comm box people wearing their winter jackets with no heads up. A bit of kindness would have been much appreciated, Venu, wouldn't it be?
Absolutely. I
Oh.
would. I would believe so that the weather has to kind of become a little more warm, a little more drier. Still a lot of moisture in the air with a little bit of rain beating around, and that's kind of cooling down the air more. One of those days when you want an open comm box with the sun beating down on you.
Of course not. When it gets in the noon, the sun's sharper, and you would expect the comm box to be closed.
Yeah, but that would be in August, not in October, if I would say so, with the current season on.
I think anything extremes are far more dangerous. Similar to this innings, it shows us rightly, because too many dots or anything in excess. Great collect, a clean collect from the wicket keeper. Survives there, still hangs on with a slight blow on his hand. Not the ideal weather to be hit anywhere or to take any blows on your body. A ball remaining before we call it off and over. Mir Patel batting on 80 of 40. Again, going down the leg side, he'll have to bowl that one. 2 wides in the over. They've got 4 runs. With the current run rate, we are looking at 149. Still a slip. A deep slip for Arif Sheikh. Now taking it to third man. A very fine third man. Not the, say, a flying slip spot.
As we see the sun coming out, peeping out.
A fine flying slip.
Nicely
Movement
bowled.
of the air, and to end it, sloppy from Nepal. We are heading slow with a slow burn for the innings. 16 done, 47, 48.
A short drinks break for the players. We'll be back after 5 minutes. Tossed up this time and good fielding. Good cricket overall by Nepal. They seem to be charged up a bit after the break. Would be interesting to see Canada's approach. Would they push the pedal on the accelerator after the break? Seems to be a very sedate start, 48 for no loss. And as we see some turn on offer, and this time they'll just steal a single thanks to a misfield at backward point. Man is prepared. 49 for no loss. 17th over in operation. Nicely played. Straight bat.
A run that keeps the high performance team from 50, away from 50.
Last ball of the 17th coming up and beautifully bowled. Appeal for stumping. Good piece of wicket keeping as well. As we see the replay on screen. Oh, that's a tight one. And looked pretty close. Closer than you think. Unfortunately, we don't have the benefit of the DRS. Else that would have been a close one.
I
Touch
think
and
he's
go.
done well. I think so. He's got some part of his foot there behind the line.
Yeah, it's just touch and go.
Through that.
As we see another over done. 49 for no loss. 17 overs. Spin from both ends. Kushal Burtel, the leg spinner, coming on from the northern end. This would be interesting. Tossed up on the offside. Upishly played for a single.
The bowlers are able to make the batters play according to the field plan.
And that's
50
the
runs
50.
partnership for Mihir Patel and Ajay Veer Singh. 21 runs from Mihir Patel and 20 from Ajay Veer. Very lucky there. Very, very close to the stumps.
Yeah. Kushal Burtel has bowled well in this series so far. Tossed the ball up and also got the ball to drift, dip and turn.
Softly played. The projected score will be at 143 at this rate. Trying to take on the bowler. But still.
Would that be enough, Abdul? Do you think 143? I just feel that that's below par.
I doubt so. Because again, the inside edge. There's drift from him, bowling quicker through the air. That beats him.
This time going for the wild slog over mid wicket and missing it.
18 done, 50 for the high performance side with 9 extras being bowled so far.
Sagar continuing from the pavilion end. Bowled well so far. Beat the bat the last over. Short extra cover. And a slip in place. Once again, beautifully bowled there by Sagar. I was just speaking to one of the Nepal fielders during the drinks break, and they mentioned how difficult it is to even grip the ball at this stage with the cold weather. That's beautifully bowled. Once again, getting turn, bounce, beating the outside edge. Not the easiest conditions out here, both from a batting and bowling perspective. Driven on the offside for a single. Canada definitely needs to get a move on now to put a competitive score. 51 for no loss. But the run rate, the current run rate right now is 2.71. Tossed up this time, driven down the ground to long on for another single. On screen. "19 overs gone, 52 for no loss." Vishal Burtel holding a tight line. A good battle between bat and ball at the moment. The bowler seems to be on top. Once again, beating the outside edge. Good bowling out here. Kushal has some good variations in his kitty. We've seen a few balls going through straight, and that's the one to look out for the batter. Looking for the single, sent back. I think it's about time now, Abdul, that the Canadian batters take the initiative and try to be a little more positive. I just feel that currently they're stuck in between.
True, because after this over, they'll be halfway across and still we haven't crossed the 80 mark, which makes me question the approach of the batter. 20 overs done, 53 without any loss of wicket. They continue with Sagar Dhakal. Play and a miss there. The keeper as well, not just batter. Full miss on that, and it'll trickle away. I think with one buys, the batters got quite complacent, thinking the ball will sweep into the boundary. This is an eye opener for the batters of the high performance team, because they cannot just rely on the boundary or on the pace of the ball. We'll have to make sure they continue running between the wickets.
Yes, boundaries have been hard to come by. But I also see Abdul, the batters being a little subdued. I don't think they have taken enough chances as well.
I know, because having more 9 batters to come, you need to take that risk, because you're only giving your fellow batters very little time. You've given yourself enough time, enough room and space. Now, I think it is high time for the batters on crease to take on the charge against the bowlers, because if they're going to not express themselves, if they allow Nepal to strangle them, and Nepal is too good doing that.
And we see first signs of that. Charging down the track and hitting it over the mid-wicket fence for a boundary. I beg your pardon, it was a one bounce 4. Didn't really cross the boundary.
Need that. Ajay Veer Singh goes down the track here using his reach to send it to 4 runs. That was a hard hit shot collected by the end of the over. 21 done, 59 for no loss. Batting on 26 of 69. They need a couple of more hits like that.
Aggressive batting on display. We got literally all the wickets in the bank. And as we have seen in the last few games, they need to get at least 170, 180 to make things interesting. As we see Kushal from the northern end, beautifully bowled once again. Spinners applying a lot of pressure. Crucial once again.
Farmers wrap with just egg. It doesn't carry anything in red.
कुछ खाने को भी है क्या ऑप्शन? ए मेरे को भी यार अगर cream cheese bagel, right? 2 cream cheese bagels. Plain bagel.
No cheese. That's
For him, no cheese. For me, cheese.
Guys, why don't you decide first? I don't know. It's like something that works.
Trying to sweep this time around. End of the 22nd, 60 for no loss. High Performance Canada, as we see the conditions becoming a little too dark. Some rain expected. We hope that it keeps out and doesn't rain a lot. And we would want to see a tight game. Early signs of some rain. We see a few droplets.
The scenes are quite dramatic here at King City, especially all sky being grayed out. Looks like we're here for an epic battle between high performance team and Nepal. They haven't been pragmatic here, the high performance side. The signs of drizzles here.
The rain getting slightly more thicker as we speak.
That's a beauty.
For LBW. That was a close one, I believe.
Indeed, a close shout, Venu. And unfortunate to see that rain's getting thicker and heavier.
I think the rain's got a little too heavy now. We might see the umpires consulting each other. And another appeal for caught behind this time around, and it's given him. That's the first wicket down for High Performance Canada. Just on the brink of the rain break, I believe.
It's just not the batter who's crying. It's also the sky crying for Ajay Veer Singh with that dismissal. The rain gets heavier and the fielders will be taking off the field. The breakthrough they were looking to get, it is Ajay Veer Singh.
Yes, a lot of opportunities created in this over. An appeal for LBW, and then the very next ball, getting him out caught behind. Not the best time when a batter would want to get out, Abdul. Just on the brink of a rain break. He would have loved to go back into the dressing room, not out. But that's the first breakthrough.
Look at that. And hard-fought combat. Arjun Saud immediately going up. An excellent take behind the stumps. Especially after getting that inside part of the bat. He did not get the outside part. It's the inside part with the low catch that was collected. It's pure reflex by Arjun Saud behind the stumps. And very unfortunate to see that the fielders had to take off from the field.
This is the first time we have a rain interruption in this series, and we just hope that it doesn't be a spoiler in this last game and we see some action.
The planning was pretty accurate for moving the Sunday's game to Saturday, but this was unexpected. And I think the forecast says we're supposed to receive a half an hour shower. But if it's going to be in heavy one, especially given condition, it's going to get very tough for the play. Very unfortunate, because this is going to be the tying game for the high performance side. If not, Nepal's got the lead here. Nepal wouldn't mind that, but especially taking that into consideration, they would definitely mind not playing a complete game, because they are going to play against Scotland and USA for the World Cup qualifier League 2. 6 games ahead of them, Venu.
Absolutely. I think these games are really crucial from Nepal's standpoint. And to be in contention for all the future World Cups in the ICC events.
Canada is taking the top spot in the qualifier League 2 league stage, with 12 games being played and 8-1 with 16 points. And USA is rightly tailgating Canada. So it is imperative for Canada to win if they've got any games. But for Nepal, it's just the start for them. They'll be looking desperately to make their mark, to get on with the win, especially with the performances they've shown in the World Cup 2024 and then later here in Canada against the slow pitches. So for sure, spin's going to be their attack. That has one of their fortes, without a doubt. But fast bowling has been good too.
Absolutely. And interestingly, you mentioned about the US. I think the USA versus Canada is the modern day North American derby, if we can call it so. Both the teams really fighting hard and competing against each other, as we saw in the recently concluded World Cup as well. USA making a lot of noise with their famous victory against Pakistan, and also running a few other teams close, and the way they defeated Canada as well. That was a great game to watch.
That might have opened up the wound for Canada, because the game was theirs till the very end, and then Aaron Jones came in. Those sweep shots has definitely stolen the game away. So with the wounds being open for Canada, they look on to fill it with heal them with the victory on others. That's going to be the ointment for Canada to overcome. That being said, we'll be joining you once the weather gets better.
Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.